How's everybody doing tonight? Happy Tuesday. Look at all these faces. Before we get into this, let's just brag on our team a little bit. Sherry posted there was 100 promotions on Diamond Empire, first time promotions. That is incredible. You all are rocking it. And here's the thing, we're not done. We're just going to keep promoting. We're just going to keep going for this. So really proud of you guys, all those promotions, even from last month where we did this, the first Tuesday of every month, we do kind of the team's promotions from the month before. And shout out to Danielle Rose for going diamond from the last time we were on here. Natalie was on here last month and she went double diamond. And then Monty went emerald. So that was exciting that those guys got those next promotions. They did it again from the months before. They just kept doing the same thing over again. So that was exciting to see. And tonight, hopefully I won't cough a lot, y'all. Let me close this door really quick. I just got back from volleyball practice, so woo. Not for myself, for my kids, but tonight is going to be just really fun. We are going to hear from some incredible people that have just stuck with it. They've done what we've talked about. They've done some things that we haven't maybe heard about yet. And so we're going to dive into what they did this last month to get these promotions. So we're going to hear from 3 people who went emerald and earned that $5,000 bonus. That's so exciting. And our newest diamond, one of our newest diamonds, is going to talk to us about what she did too. So let's get started. Just looking at time, being time sufficient, but okay. These screens are awful by me. All right. Well, first off, we are going to hear from Gigi. Gigi, congratulations on going emerald, girl.
Thank you.
It's so exciting.
It still hasn't hit me yet, but it was exciting.
It feels that way. And then all of a sudden commissions hit and you're like, whoa, that's going to happen. Super exciting. So I know, tell us really quick, when did you join It Works?
Approximately 20 months ago. So almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years, and look at you going emerald and claiming that $5,000 bonus. That is awesome. Way to stay consistent and keep going for it. Let's talk about a little bit, because I know that you have done some things and you've really stayed with it through this whole process. What does your day look like?
It all depends. I am a mom of 2 girls under the age of 5. Mm-hmm. So that is like hit and miss. But I know for a fact, I normally start my morning with self-development. And I'm going to be honest, up until conference, it was just something that I would do every now and then. And then I got really consistent. And it really changed my own perspective to go and lead my team. So I definitely do self-development. I always follow new friends. And I have a method to mine. Like on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I normally unfriend people that I've added Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. But I use the app Captivate and Cleaner. So normally on those days, I always add at least 240 new people. And if you don't want to be in Instagram jail, don't do it every day. Or at least that's how I do it. I don't like to be in jail because I run most of my business with Instagram. So I'm very strategic when I'm adding people. So normally, like right now, my unfollow is going as we're doing this. Just because I want to make sure that I'm not in jail tomorrow so I can interact with the new people that I'm now following. I normally check in every single day with my top leaders because I want to know what their team is doing. I want to know what their goal is for each day. So then at least I know not to step on their toes and then not to, go and say the same thing that they've already heard. I'm trying to think. Normally every single day, I try to go live every day. That's not always possible. My girls, most of the time, good 95% of the time, you're going to see my kids in any of my live videos. And Sherry makes me feel more comfortable when I see her girls, and I'm like, praise the Lord. So I try to keep my lives, and I definitely post a poll every single day on Instagram. Mm-hmm. So that's just about a rough sketch of every day.
No, I love that. I love you're doing self-development because you can't pour from an empty vessel. That is so important. You're going to burn out at some point if you're not doing self-development. And then you're growing your followers, and the best way to grow your followers is to, especially on Instagram, is to not follow the people who aren't following you, but just continue growing that way. And then going live, I love that you almost go live every day. I definitely go live twice a week is my goal. I would like to up that more, but it's so good because people get to know you. And we've said that over and over with the business is people are more apt to trust you than they are to trust some product that you're selling, And so it's always good to invite people into your world. What are some of the things you go live about?
So most of the time, since we've started this whole keto thing, I normally do, if I'm going to do a poll about anything of our keto line on Instagram, I for sure talk about the keto meals that I'm making that day, whether it's breakfast, whether it's coffee, whether it's showing them what I'm making for dinner. And then I make sure that, like tonight, I did Brussels sprouts, but I made sure that I purposely added keto creamer just so they could see a product, that it can be versatile. And then I make sure that my poll question is on the picture of them watching the video. So I make sure that I post the poll, I post the video, then I go back to the same video and post a poll on it. So they have to watch it twice. And then that gives me time to see who watched it the first time before Instagram gets rid of it in 24 hours. Mm-hmm. I try to go live with my kids, whether we're out in public on play dates, just so moms, because I'm a mom, but I'm a young mom to some people. I'm only 30. So, to those moms that are just now having babies, that are doing their play dates, and they always ask, well, I can't do that with this business. Like, I can't do that and go on play dates. Yes, you can. So I try to make sure that my lives are really about my everyday life. Here lately, I've been going live rapping, just because my team, as of last month, we started doing these groups to help people really see that we are a product of our own product. So like tomorrow morning, I'm going to go rap live, but I'm quite sure there'll be toys all over my floor, my kids screaming in the background. But I purposely do it, and I know this sounds crazy, I purposely do it when my kids are not behaving, so people can see that this is my real life and this is still my business.
Yeah, but you can still do it in the midst of everything because you're eliminating excuses in the midst of it. I love that. Okay, so you go live, you're posting, you're messaging. Talk to me about what you said at the beginning of last month. You're like, I'm not just selling one product to anybody. I have a goal. And you signed 25 loyal customers last month.
Yes.
So we have a goal. You had a goal. You did your chart. So we talked about this, y'all. You were scared out of your mind of your chart. So you're like, this is not possible. And I love that, because anybody right now, when we're sitting there, y'all look at your charts, do your projected volume, see what you need. And some of us are so scared to look at that because it's like, oh, that feels impossible. Right? But is that how you felt at the beginning of last month?
Yeah, I was really scared. And I will be very transparent. Like, every month up until this past conference, I got so close to Emerald. And then the last 7 days of the month, I'm like, we still need 1,000 GB. I might as well just prepare myself for the next month. Well, after leaving conference, I sat down with some of my leaders, who just happens to be one of my really good friends, kind of like you and Sherry. Granted, you guys are family, but this girl and I, we were like family. We had babies together. And then I was like, listen, I won't quit on you and you can't quit on me, but we need to do this together. And we charted on the last day of February, and no joke, my verbatim words to her were, I don't know what the heck Mark is going to do tomorrow, but he's going to extend this because I have a point to prove. And we woke up and he was like, so it's extended. And I was like, great, we're ready to rock and roll. And I looked at my chart on the 1st and I was like, okay, Jesus, I need like 3,583 GB. And I only have like so many people working. How the heck are you going to do this? And then I got real with myself. It's not about him doing it. He just told me if I go to work, he'll bless the works of my hands. And so that's what I did. I sat down with my leaders over Zoom because none of my girls live local. 3 of them do, but they're all school teachers. So our times are different. Mm-hmm. We sat down and we got really intentional. I broke down each box and I was like, okay, this box needs this box needs this. And we're going to take every day as if it's the last day of the month. So every single day we fill the 400 box. I don't care if it was 2 a.m. by the time we went to bed, but we weren't going to bed until we filled that box. And it's true. I didn't focus on the hair, skin, and nails. I didn't focus on the wraps. I was like, you know what? Wraps and hair, skin, and nails, yes, they get me customers. Yes, they get me volume, but they do not get me closer to 400 in one day. So we were very intentional. We sat down and I was like, okay, a triple thread's 94 GV. How many triple threads can we sell in one day? Mm-hmm. A system is 110. How many can we get? Because some of my girls, they needed twice as much as volume just to promote to Ruby. So I was like, okay, we got to get it done. And I can't work your chart, but we can work together. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we did. We created packs that are not packs, but those products go very well together and people were interested. And we didn't sugarcoat it for them. When they asked us, well, what will this pack do for me? Give them the facts if they're asking.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love the packs. I love that idea because, yeah, we've talked about this a little bit before. And even last month, there's a few of them on there that really focused on triple threat. And we do have people on tonight that really focused on triple threat because it's like, it's amazing when it works together, when you put the greens with the fat fighters, with the thermal fit, what can happen with you have, right? Isn't that what you lost your weight doing?
Yeah, I started with the triple threat and it really took one of my rubies to tell me, she was like, listen, I know you don't really like to post your before and afters, but I need you to get over that because I need them. And no joke, like, I'm glad that I get to be the one on the call, but by herself in 4 days, she got over 17 triple threats just by using a before and after. And last night, if you were on the Show Me the Money call, Carrie made a very valid point. We try to be very cute, but we don't show them the proof. Hmm. And the proof is in the pursuit, and people will pursue what you're showing them if it's proof. And so she was just intentional. And I just chased after. I'm like, well, you don't get to go to the top without me, so let's just keep running. But I did. I lost 56 pounds starting with the triple threat, and then I started falling in love with the keto products and the keto lifestyle. So it works if you work it.
It works if you work it. And this statement, I think I say this every time I do tips from the top, but they'll tell you if the product isn't changing your life, the business probably isn't going to change your life either. And it is so important to let people see how you use it in your everyday life and that it's real and that it's possible, that it's just I'm like, if you're a mom like me right now, I live in the car. That's where I live, y'all. Like, I don't even know what to tell you. I thought life was easier when your kids are more independent. It just gets different. It's just all fun, It just gets different though. I'm like, okay, but I can drink my greens every morning and take a thermal fit with breakfast. And then I take a thermal fit with lunch and take a fat fighter after dinner. And, to be totally honest, the triple threat is what Joey lost his weight on because the system was just kind of coming out. So on the tail end of his weight loss is when we incorporated more of the system in it. But I love that you signed those little customers, you had a chart, you were intentional, you know what your day looks like, you're using the products, showing people that it's possible, and then they're going to join you because they're going to see you go in a successful way. So just before we end, take one moment and give us an aha moment.
Oh man, honestly, gosh, I'm going to try to say all this without crying super fast. If I had to have an aha moment for me as a leader, it was the fact that I could be a leader. Because it's very easy to get so confused in calling Sherry or calling Danielle or calling your enrollers, can you help me out, instead of being the leader that they actually see in you. And so I made up my mind when I made up my mind that I was going to promote. I wanted that $5,000 bonus. And granted, it was great to see it, but I really didn't do it for me. I wanted to prove to my team that they had a leader that they could sincerely count on. and they didn't have to go and find someone else to be their upline because they had an upline leader. And so for all of you that are even trying to promote this month, take your eyes off of the leadership role and just be the leader that you can be. Because if you really focus on being the leader you can be, then your team will follow you. Sherry says it all the time. The leader of the pack, you bring those people with you, but you have to be that leader that they're looking for. And I think for me, the way that I became that leader was I stopped thinking about how much money I could make at each rank. And I really start looking at the hearts of my people. Because, Sherry and Stacy, you guys can reach out to my people, but you don't do business with them every single day. So it's different to know their heart. But when you have to get in the grits with them and hear their family situations, you really do have to think about your business. Like, okay, I have to do business with these people, but their life is falling apart. And for me, that was it. Because throughout last month, I had a lot of life happen. My husband was in the hospital. I had to rush my daughter to the hospital. Family member almost died. I had a lot of life happen, but I couldn't let my excuses take over that. No matter what was going to happen, tomorrow still was going to come. And tomorrow I was still a business owner and I was still a leader, and I had to lead my people even in the middle of everything that I was going through. So that's my aha moment. If you're wanting to be a leader, be that leader. Mm-hmm. And if that starts with just being a leader for yourself, looking in the mirror and telling yourself, I can really do this. I can get up every day and I can do it. Then that's what you have to do until you believe what you're saying.
Yeah. I love that. I love how Cammie and Mark, they always are talking about that the 8 inches right here is where most of your business is won and decided, is in that mind and walking in everything God created you to be. Because we are more, and just being able to see that this business is 80% mental, 20%, you got to work, and you got to, have some kind of talent, if talent's the right word, but you gotta have some kind of I can spell words and put up a post, or I can tell somebody about a product, but 80% of it is just in your mind. And so I love that, just getting that mind right. Well, Gigi, I'm excited. I believe Diamond is there for you, girl. Thanks for sharing those tips with us. We want to see more lives out there. We want to see life happening and how you're incorporating this business into your real life. I love that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, next up, Miss Tiffany, congratulations on going Emerald and getting that $5,000 bonus.
Thank you.
Girl, you have been rocking this thing. I've seen a little bit more, I've got to watch this a little bit more of how you hustle, and girl, you do, especially the last couple of months. So tell us about when you joined. How long have you been?
Okay, so I joined March 2016, so I just had my 2 years last month. And I just went last month. I'm super excited.
I know you got that bonus. I know. I remember, just like Gigi was saying, and this is what this is one thing, kind of before we get into your story that I wanted to mention everybody. Just like Gigi said, the last night of February, I figured it all out, and I was like, Mark's going to bring that bonus back because I need this next month. I remember we were kind of talking a little bit like, man, we don't know what's going to happen next month, but it's going to be something. So everything you did in February, even though we didn't get that bonus, it's going to be worth it. And man, aren't you glad you didn't stop? And
I was really close in February, and they always extend it. I knew it was going to happen. I just wanted to just keep pushing till the end because I knew that what I did in February would help me the next month.
Exactly. And so if there are people sitting here going, man, March, I was just a little bit too far away to go, that's okay, because you're that much closer to whatever they say next. You know what I mean? There's always another promotion coming out. There's always something great in front of us. And so don't necessarily be discouraged if it didn't happen for you, because we don't know what they're going to say at green carpet, at the end of this month in Dallas. So you don't want to give up in those last moments, but okay. Tell us a little bit about your everyday. You have 3 boys.
Yes. I have 3 boys. I have a 10-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 9-month-old. And so my 10-year-old goes to school every day. And so every day I just stay home with my 2 younger ones. And then I work this business full time. So that's kind of what I do every day.
Yeah. But wait, your baby's only 10 months old, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you're making it work, but you work it in the midst of nap time and everything else. So how do you incorporate this business into your life?
Well, that's kind of like it changes every day just depending on kind of like how things are going in the house. But I really try to do it mostly on nap time and at bedtime when they're all sleeping. And so I stay up really late and I work it when they're sleeping because it's, that's the time that I can fit it into my life. So I sacrifice sleep, but it's so worth it.
Yeah, you choose your heart, right? So not sleeping,
yes,
but having a little extra money is worth that. So
yes,
tell us really quick what was your enrolling last month?
I enrolled 21 customers last month and 4 distributors.
21 customers.
I was mostly focusing on customers because I had everything in place. I just needed the volume. So.
So you knew too, just like Gigi knew, you knew exactly what you needed this month to get that goal. And you're like,
yes,
I'm going to sign some customers. How do you think you signed most of those customers?
Well, I just followed the Morgan. When we had a tips from the top with Morgan McIntyre, I follow her script. It seriously has changed my business. Okay. And so I use her script, and then I also do a lot of engagement with my followers. So we build relationships. I've become friends with a lot of people on my social media accounts, especially on Instagram. I pretty much build my business 95% on Instagram. Mm-hmm. So I do that. And then I also, the last couple months, I wasn't afraid to ask for help. So I just was reaching out to everybody, and I was just saying, what's going on? I'm going for a huge goal. Would you be willing to help me out? And I actually had a few customers order from me that they told me I wasn't really looking to buy any products, but I would love to help you. So just send me what you have. And so because I had built that relationship with them, they were more willing to help me out.
Sure.
And so that was another thing that I did. And I just stayed on top of my potential loyal customers. I did the follow up, and I followed up with them vigorously because I knew I needed them to come through this month. So that was another thing that I feel was really crucial to me signing a lot of customers was the follow up. Mm-hmm. And what else did I do? Oh, I feel it was just the wording. I have notes. I'm a note person, so I have it all written down here. But I feel a lot of it was how I worded it too. I wanted to end the conversation with me being in control of when I followed up with them. So I never left the conversation with them telling me oh, I'll get a hold of you. I never left it like that. It was always okay, well, when's a good day for you? I'll hold your spot with my discount. So I told everyone that. And then I had a specific day to follow up. And then I would keep that in my calendar, and then I would follow up with them. And I would get them off of social media too and get their phone number, which is, oops, sorry, I dropped my earpiece. I would get them off of social media on the phone. So I had their phone number as well to follow up with them.
Okay, love that. So let's go back. When you say I engaged a lot, what were you doing to engage with everybody?
Okay, so I was just going through, I would spend about I'll do this twice a day, 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm liking and commenting on everybody that's coming up in my feed. And it's not just a emoji or just something super simple. I'm saying a genuine comment. So they have, and a lot of the times they'll respond back to me. So they have something to, what I mean? Then after that, they're coming back to my profile and interacting with me on my page too.
Love that. Okay. And then what's your follow-up system? If you're saying I follow up. So what is that? If someone's just kind of starting, what does that look like from the moment maybe you ask somebody, hey, would you like to be a product tester? How give me a little scenario of what that sounds, what do you do that?
Okay. So So I'm sending them the Morgan McIntyre script, like I was saying, about like being a product tester. Mm-hmm. And then when they're saying like, yeah, like what kind of products do you have? Then I'm listing like a short little list of like our top seller products. And in there, I'm also hitting like, I also have one work from home spot available. So I am hitting like every avenue. And so I have that in there. And then when they're telling me, yeah, I want to try the wraps, I'm just giving them a little bit about the wraps, and then I'll tell them the retail price and then the low customer price. And then I'm always ending the conversation with like, sound good. And I feel like after I started saying that, it was like, I don't know what it is. It's like a solidifying comment to make them like say, okay, yeah, that sounds good. Like, you know, like just being confident in what you have. Mm-hmm. And after I did that, then a lot of them are ended up coming through.
Awesome.
So that's kind of my system.
Yeah. Someone said sound good and then doesn't say anything else. What do you do after that?
Then I'm waiting for maybe like 30 minutes. I don't wait very long. And then after the 30 minutes, then I'm like unsending my last message and resending them another one. And I'm saying like, hey, I still have your spot open. Did you still want to try the wraps with my discount? And then they're saying, I mean, of course you're going to get people that still go silent and they're not going to say anything again. But then you will get the people that will say, yeah, I want that spot. I'm ready. And then I'm getting their phone number, and then I'm helping them with, you know, going through my website.
I love that. Okay. So when you look at your non-negotiables, you're posting every day. You're engaging with not at works people every day. Mm-hmm. You're sending a message. Who do you send a message to?
You know, I'm not messaging people who like my posts. I used to do that, but then I felt like I was running out. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going into my followers, and there's like on Instagram there's a search bar, and so I'm just like typing in the letter A, and then I'm messaging every single person that starts with the letter A, and then I'm just going through all of my followers like that and picking up the next day where I left off at. And so I'm sending that message to everybody, but before I send the message to them, I'm also like going to their page and I'm liking a couple pictures and then I'm commenting. So that's I feel like that's another reason they're writing me back, because a lot of the times they used to not even respond. And then now, like when I'm doing that, they're responding back to me. Even if they're telling me like, no, thank you, I'm not interested, at least they're saying something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So I love that. So you're at home mom you got two little boys at home with you every day, and you're like, man, the way I work this business mainly is through Instagram. You're messaging, you're engaging on everybody's stuff, and you're following up, which is huge. And I know like we say that over and over again, but that's just how, and yours has got changed, but you're saying nap time for me is a key time to do that, right? And late nights.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I just kind of, I just decided, like Gigi was saying, like I just decided that I was doing it this month. And it was mostly just like, I wanted to show my team that you can do this, you know, it's not hard. And so I really just wanted to do it for my team. And I just decided, like, especially going to conference, like I didn't really know what I was going to get out of conference, and then going and then coming back. It just like, it really is true what they say about it. Like it just really lights a fire in you. And I was just ready to come home and go to work. And that's really like all that I did was just went to work.
Yeah. And you did. And you're a hustler. And I know that. And I know Gigi's a hustler too. And I think that's part of it is, you know, we post how simple it is. And for sometimes that comes across like, oh, it's so simple, I don't have to do anything. Well, it's not.
Yeah.
But it's work. You have to work this business, but it's easy work, right? And so sometimes we forget that though. But when you put the work in, it comes back to you. And I love that. I love that you're following up. Okay, give us one aha moment.
Aha moment. I don't know. That's hard. I feel like it was just mainly like just the mindset, like just deciding that this was happening. Like I don't know. I feel like that's really just it. Like I just decided that it was going to happen and I made it happen, and that's that.
Yeah. Like Cammie always says, you steer where you stare. So wherever you're steering at, if you're going to stare at, oh, I'm not good enough or this isn't going to work, then that's where you're going to steer to. But if you're like, oh no, I'm going emerald, like,
yes.
you're going to go right there. And so I love that. Congratulations. And I know this month
Thank
you're
you.
already ready to go. You have your charts out. So if you're on here and you're kind of brand new, you're like, what are you talking about? You want to talk to your enroller or your diamond upline and go, what does it mean have a chart ready? What does that mean? You know, because will talk you through exactly, and then you know what you need to do to get those simple steps there. But I know your chart is ready for diamond, and it's going to happen. I'm so
excited.
Thank you so much for sharing your tips with us.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, this girl here is on vacation.
Hi.
Congratulations, Julie.
Thank you.
So proud of you. Man, so glad you're emerald on your way to diamond. I know it. What a fun time to go. When did you join the business?
So I joined in November of 2016.
Okay, awesome. So here you go.
Mm-hmm.
You're just about a year and a half in now. And
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love the timeline that everybody is that has been on so far tonight, because it is worth it. You know, it's worth it to just stay consistent and be in it, to see that come back to you in the right time. And so I know Gigi is a Facebook Live kind of girl, and she does work Instagram. She is not necessarily a mass messenger, but she's consistently messages every day. We talked about that. Tiffany is, I am at home raising babies. There he is, my little buddy. I have to see him. He's so cute. Making this work in the midst of, you know, the craziness and chaoticness of with kids, you can't really have a set schedule. I just want to tell y'all. You think you got it down, and then the next day it's all different. I'm like, what'd they do to me? but she's working at Instagram that way. And now you work full time.
Mm-hmm.
You're newlywed. And you are would you say mainly Instagram is how you work your business?
Yeah, I would say mainly Instagram.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about, because in the midst of working and stuff, like that's a lot of time. I know I worked full time when I actually went, when I started this business too. And I'm like, I don't know how to do this. So everything. So there's some people sitting on here tonight that might be going, yeah, that's great for the stay-at-home mom that can just, you know, pick up their phone whenever and do, even though we all know stay-at-home moms, that's not how it goes. But, you know, it's always easy to look at somebody else's life and go, well, that's why it works for them, and that's why it's not going to work for me. But we want to kind of eliminate some of those excuses. So you're working full-time. You just earned a $5,000 bonus with the business. How do you do that?
So I think that's like an excuse I told myself for a long time too, which kind of kept me where I was that like, oh yeah, that's for the people who are staying home all day or don't have like a quote real job. And that's just, you know, that's a lie that you tell yourself. And once it took me a while to like get over that hump of like, no, like people do this working full time. So I had to fit this business into working full time. So like I work my business mostly, like I get up early in the morning, get up 30 minutes earlier. I work my business on my lunch break. And then when I get home in the evening. So I space it all out around that.
Awesome. So what are the things that you're doing kind of in the morning, at that lunchtime, and what nighttime looks like?
Yeah, so my list is really similar to that 6 list that Sherry sends out. I kind of keep it based around that, but I post at least 3 times a day. I try to do a product post, a personal post, and a business post every day. Sometimes more than one personal post. I like to interchange kind of business and personal just to keep people interested and share about my real life too. I'm always adding new people every single day. Like Gigi said, I use my cleaner and Captivate. I run that on night mode, like at night. I pretty much do Captivate like every night of the week, and then on the weekend I'll unfollow. I'll use cleaner. I interact. So I set a timer on my phone for like 10 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day, and I just interact. I like and comment on people's profiles. So I'm just building that relationship. I'm always messaging. So messaging is huge for me. Like I message like a crazy amount. And I set my timer. So at first I had a goal of how many messages I wanted to get out a day. And that kind of got like a little overwhelming. I'm like, I don't know that I can reach 50 today. I'm so busy. But so I set a certain amount of time. So I said, I'm going to set the timer on my phone for 15 minutes. And I'm going to do that 3 times a day. And I'm going to message as many people as I can in that 15 minutes. So regardless of if I get to a certain number, I'm still going to be doing that set amount of time. And that kind of, I feel like, took some pressure off. And so I could just kind of like get all my messages out. So I do two to 3 times a day of that. Following up. So I always have new follow-ups to do every day because I like to stay really organized in my follow-up. So I'll write people in my planner for the day I want to follow up with them. So it's like every single day I have new follow-ups to do. And then just connecting with my team, like just connecting with my team, my leaders who's on my chart, and seeing how they're doing, sharing about what I'm doing. Like, I think that's one of the biggest things for me. I found out, like, I didn't know how to be a leader, but being a leader is just like sharing what you're doing that's working for you. Like, because I was like, I don't know what it means to be a leader. Like, I don't know how to do that. But then I was like, wait, all I have to do is share this message, share this post, and that is going to help people,
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, being a leader is just, you kind of, in some areas you go before somebody else. So it's like, oh, this is what you do right when you get here, like, oh yeah, I was just there. I'm just stepping out of that. You're stepping in. Here it goes. This is the next thing. And that is a huge, thing. And just like kind of Tiffany and Gigi said before, and I know you kind of messaged me about it, it's like, I didn't really see myself there. It's such a mentality thing. And you don't have to have a team of 500 people to be a leader. First you got to figure out, how do I lead myself? How do I discipline myself to do this? And then how do I show the person that's coming right along with me to do what I'm doing? And, and that's kind of how you look at it. I love that. Okay. I love the timer thing. I do this all the time. So for anybody too, like, because if I could say, oh, if I just message this many people today, my brain travels way more. But when I put on a timer and I'm like, I have 10 minutes right now, I'm not going to worry about anything else. And I will do this in my power hours. I even do this in like my devotions and prayer time and stuff like that. But I'll set a timer just to know this is this focus time. And I always have I'm a paper and pen person though. So I always have like a notepad beside me for like, when I learned this actually from Rosemary. Rosemary, a long time ago, when she would talk at a church thing that she spoke at. But when things come to my mind that don't apply to what I'm supposed to be doing right there, just write it down. So then it's out of my mind, but I know I'm still going to come back to it. And so that's what I'll do. And my timer's going like, oh yeah, don't forget, make a snack. You have snacks tonight for, for volleyball, whatever. Like, or, something will come to mind like, oh, you need to tell so-and-so about, don't forget to tell them about the new promotion. You didn't message that one person or something. So I like write that down as I'm working. Did it just freeze on me? Are you all okay?
It froze, but your voice was still going. Okay. So I think you're good.
Okay, great. I'm like, how do I not have internet connection? What's going on? But then you can hone in and focus. So you have those 15 minutes. So if you do that 3 times a day, that's 45 minutes of messaging people, just asking them, will you join my team? Will you be, a product tester? All that kind of stuff. And you're enrolling. Tell everybody what you enrolled this last month.
Yeah. So I enrolled 26 loyal customers and 5 distributors.
Yeah. Working full time, when you wake up in the morning, at lunchtime, and at dinner time. You can, we've talked about, Sherry, Lynn, and I are actually talking about this, and we're like, we really believe you can have it all in this business. Like, you can still have time if you are a lot of it is like discipline. Being disciplined to do the work, not get caught in your head, not get caught in comparison, not get caught in, am I good enough to do it? Not to get caught up in all these things, but to go, boom, this is what I got to do. This is sometimes why, honestly, busy people get more done in this business than non-busy people, because busy people, they don't have time. I don't have time to get lost in my thought process or in everybody else's drama or anything else. I got to get this done, And so learning how to focus in that. And I love that. So I love the timer thing. And I love that you're messaging, what you're saying about messaging, because we always talk about that. Messaging, and even last week's tips from the top, messaging is planting the seed, and then you're posting, and that's watering it. And so you have to be a professional asker in this business. And I think that you really do great at that. You are so good at being a professional asker. Tell us really quick a couple of your scripts.
So I messaged like the golden script like nobody's business. Like, that's kind of all I use now. And I've changed to that because ever since, I forgot where it started, but adding the bullet point at the end for the distributor, after you list all the products and adding the bullet point. And I have one spotter in my team for someone who wants to make an extra $300 to $500 a month. So now that message kind of covers distributors and customers for me. And so I'm like solely using that message now.
I love that. So good. I know I know so many people, we were talking about this too, is that they say you can't message the right thing to the wrong person. You can't message the wrong thing to the right person. So yeah, I will have, so like Tiffany, the script you're using from Morgan, and Julie, the script that you're doing, if you guys will have that ready tonight when we post like an afterwards thing, we'll leave a space for y'all. Gigi, what you're doing with your packs and stuff, if you want to put one of those in there, that would be awesome to give everybody. Okay, Julie, give us one aha moment.
Aha moment. Sorry, y'all. I was like, the sunset was happening while I was on this. So I started out really light and now my face is like so dark. Okay, so I guess the aha moment would kind of be what I said earlier, just learning about what it means to be a leader. I was just always thinking that was something I didn't know how to do, or it was like there's some specific formula you needed to do to be a leader. I'm kind of a very like analytical, almost green personality. So I'm like, no, like exactly how do I do that? What do I need to do? And it was kind of when Sherry on one of our group messages did kind of like a kick you in the butt like speech about like you need to be talking to people on your team, your leaders on your team every single day. Like, don't let a day go by without talking to them or connecting with them or sharing something you're doing. And I don't know why I had never gotten that before, but I was like, oh, like I can't let a week go by and not talk to my leaders. And it's not all about me, since I'm good at enrolling. It's not all about me filling my chart too. Like, I think I relied on myself for too long and thinking that I could do it all and not connect with my team as much. But that's just, when you get higher up, it doesn't work anymore. So kind of realizing that like I can't do it all myself, and I have to work to help build up these other ladies and teach them how to grow their team, or I'm not doing any good,
I love that. That's so good. Duplication is, you're going to go further in this business by duplicating yourself than you are trying to run yourself ragged and do it all on your own. And so that's really powerful. And to get that, and to get people, man, the people who catch that and learn this business and grow from it, that's how you're going to build an incredible team. And so that's exciting. Well, girl, Diamond is coming. I see it.
What's next?
I believe it. You're awesome. Thanks so much for sharing with us tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Uh-oh. Okay. I'm going to have to search for you for a second, Kristy. My screen's been going crazy. Yeah. Oh. Sorry, y'all. This is not, here we go. All right. Want to say a special congratulations to one of our newest diamonds on this team, Kristy. Congratulations on promoting to diamond.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So now when did you join?
September 6th of last year.
September 6th, 2017, and you just went diamond.
Yes.
That's so awesome.
4 minutes to spare in my 6 months. So
yeah, it was a little pretty intense at the end of the month.
A lot intense.
Okay, now how did you get in the business?
Reluctantly. Natalie Emerson and I have been friends for many, many years, and she joined in August, and she first asked me about being just a product tester, and then she said, oh no, you need to do this with me, and I said, no way, no how, because this is totally out of my comfort zone. And so finally I said, okay, fine.
Okay, fine. And you did. And that's one of the things I want to hit on here for two different types of people. One, for those like runners, goers, doers, and your best friend is like, I don't know what you're doing. You're crazy. You know what I mean? Like, they will come. I'm one of those people too. You know, Sherry asked me at least 6 times in 3 weeks, and I kept telling her no until she finally wore me down. You know, now I'm a presidential on her team. You were reluctant, and and you know, Natalie was like there, and then it turns around, even with those reluctant, or maybe people who you think, if you're maybe one of those, like, I'm a second person on here, you don't have to be a second person and stay a distributor. You can be a leader in this business as well. And I love that part of it. You know, I think of Tori, who's on here, that just like signed up to be a good friend. You know, like there's so many people, there's so much room at the top for all different types of personality in this business. And I love that. Like, look at that. Someone sitting here, Kristy sitting here, reluctant, and right then and there, she's a diamond. So your reluctant friend could be your next diamond on your team. So don't overlook them at all. Okay. And we are really hitting, like, you can do this business no matter what's going on in your life. And so why don't you talk a little bit about what all fills your life?
So I work full time. I'm a credit manager for an oil and gas company. So I work about 50 or 60 hours there every week. I volunteer for an orphan hosting agency. I have a 16-year-old son, and my husband's a police officer. And then we do a lot with my family, you know, my parents and my niece and nephews. And so it's a full life, you know, and so you know, I think in that regard, you know, when you look at it, and it's very easy to say, I don't have time to do this, you know, and it's very easy to come up with an excuse. But I think, you know, at the end of the day, once you remember your why and why you're doing this, then you can always make time for it. So that's kind of what I've done.
I love that. You remember your why, and you will always be able to make time for it. I keep going back as everybody was talking tonight. I keep hearing when we were doing that Zoom a couple months ago, and Kelly with the triples and above, and Kelly was like, you can have a business, you can have an excuse, or you can have business, you know, but you can't really have both. And there is a point where you got to go, man, I'm letting these excuses go so I can do something with this business, because you can. Let's talk a little bit then how you work this business in the midst of it. What are some just logistical things that you do?
So I printed out like my friends. So I do Instagram a little bit, but I really don't do a lot on Instagram. I do enough just to kind of, you know, have a presence there, but really everything I do is on Facebook. I just haven't figured out Instagram enough and haven't had success on it. So Facebook is really where I focus on. But I printed out like my entire friends list. I go down and literally mark like every time I've contacted them, the ones that have been interested but haven't signed up, what they were interested in. That way when I'm following up, I know it was hair, skin, and nails, and I can, or like on wraps, I could go right back and say, oh, these were wraps. And so I can contact them now that we have a BOGO, you know, different things like that. So that's like every day I'm following up and following up. I do the same with the post. I try to do the 3 posts a day. Sometimes it's kind of hit and miss, but I try to do that. But it's like during the day, it's, just like Julie said, on lunch, I sit there and I do a post, or I send out my follow-up messages or my initial messages and that kind of thing. When you're just sitting there waiting for your child to come out, you can hammer out a few messages. I do stay up quite a bit. I'm up late a lot, but I never really slept a whole lot to begin with. So, I do a lot late at night, but, I think there's always time to find time to do a little bit. I check my charts. I'm probably pretty obsessive with it because I literally check volume every day for every one of my distributors.
Yeah.
So that I always, every single day, know where everybody is. And that's how I was very intentional this last month in, looking to see like who was very close and saying, look, like you guys just need one more customer for 30 BV, or this one has none, and that way when I was getting customers, I knew exactly where to, place them and that kind of thing. Just very, very intentional about that. That is what I do. Like if I do nothing else, I'm looking at that chart every day to see exactly where we are and what we need to do for the rest of the month. I'm following up with my, my team, especially, those that are extremely active on the team. I'm just checking in with them and making sure they've got what they need and, the support and that kind of thing. So that's kind of what my day is like in the middle of everything else.
Yeah. Those are the things you make sure you do, which I love that. Now you also did some events this past month.
So we have. So really what we've done, February, March, April will be the same, in May is like one big event. And by that, I mean, not like a sip and sample or anything, but like in February, we did a women's conference at our church. In March, we actually set up at the mall. There's 5 malls here that have they do once a quarter where they have home-based businesses and direct sales come in and you set up. And, I didn't really know what that would do, but, we got customers out of it. And then we have a 5K this next month, and then we have an expo in May that I'm pretty excited about. So we're trying to do like a big deal, every month. And then that also brings in the other distributors too, to get them involved. And, it kind of gets us outside of our smaller circle, which may be more the sip and samples and, that kind of thing. So it gets more exposure that way.
I love it. Okay, so when you're doing that, you set up a table. What do you have at the table?
I literally bring every product that I have, everyone, and a couple of them we've done actual samples of like the coffee and the greens and the chews, and then some we don't. So some of it is literally just displaying the products. We do have the 2 big signs, and just talking about the products. We'll have like the forms filled, set out. I also at each of them have done like a drawing, and on that we'll put their name, their email, their number, and then this last time I put like what product they were interested again. That way then when we get those papers, we do draw for the product or whatever, but then we can follow back up. You can put their phone number in Facebook and find them. And then I literally did it with the wraps. Again, lady, she was interested in the wraps at the mall. And I sent her a note and I said, hey, we have a BOGO right now. You wanted these wraps. This is the time to get them. And so she's signing up for that. So that's another thing that we do. So
Wait, that's a cool tip I didn't know about. I didn't know you could put somebody's phone number in Facebook. And
you could put it in, instead of searching their name, you put their cell number or whatever. And then typically it comes, because you could put in Michelle Smith or something, and there's going to be 500 Michelle Smiths, but you put their phone number in, and then you can really pinpoint it.
So that's a great thing to do at events then when you're getting their phone numbers and stuff. I'm like, Kelly, we need to do it from our event. And then being able to add them on Facebook. So I love that. Yeah. So you are doing one big event a month, And what else did you feel like you did this last month to help you promote?
Host to post was huge.
Okay.
I can't even tell you how many host to posts I did. It was at least 20 or 25. I mean, it was tons.
How did you
offer them a sample, samples if I get a customer or something like that. But I would do the host to post, and then if I got a customer from that, I'd ask them to do it as well.
I love that.
A lot of what I do is just the same stuff that I learned from all these other tips from the top. I mean, if it's working for others, then it's probably going to work for us. So that's kind of what you put into practice.
I know sometimes I think I can have this personality where I feel like I need to create something to feel like proud of it, but it's like, why recreate the wheel? Be the best copycat,
Exactly.
I love that. Now, when you're doing the host to post, are you messaging people individually, or did you put a post out there? Or?
When I found when I put like a post on my wall that says, hey, will you post this, blah, 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 I don't get as much a response as when I do it direct. And I just send, hey, I'm not looking to sell you anything. I just need a favor. Here's the script. Here's a picture. Tag me, and then you're out. You don't have to do anything else. I'll take it from there. If I get a customer, I'll send you some samples. If I get 4, then you'll get a product, something like that. And then, it's been very successful. And I typically try to, kind of depending on who I'm asking to host the post, will depend on the product. If it's a younger girl, it's going to be hair, skin, and nails. If it's, whatever, just kind of try to gauge the person and what I think their friends might be interested in, instead of just like all of it's hair, skin, and nails, and that's it.
Yeah, I love that. No, that's so smart. Okay, give us an aha moment.
My aha moment's probably getting over myself. I mean, again, like when I signed up for this is not something I would ever have thought that I would be doing. I wasn't big on social media. I would post every once in a while. I'm not one like to just go up and initiate conversation. And so it's just getting over myself, because again, it all goes back to the why, and it all goes back to, I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for my future. I'm doing this for my team, because I could do this for me, but everybody under me also is affected. We had so many promotions. I promoted to Diamond, and we had 3 promotes to Ruby. We had executives promote. It's just an Emerald. I mean, it's just a trickle down effect. So I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing this for my entire team. And, so I have to think about that aspect of it. And so I just get over myself. Just do it.
I love that. You know what you said, I mean, those are on my hard days, I think we all have those days where it's like, I don't know. I think just the key things, there are key things in life that you need to do when you feel like it and when you don't. There are key things in my life that it's like, I need to do this when I feel like it and when I don't feel like it. And even with the business, sometimes I have to do this when I feel like it and when I don't. And usually when I don't feel like it, the people I think about is my team. I'm like, how many people are depending on this to be something for them? Like, I can't just, I just can't lay back and sit back. Like, I got to, get over myself.
Yeah.
Sometimes I got to get over myself and do it for someone else, because maybe I might not be enough in that moment.
Well, and the other thing too is, there's good days and bad days. It's just like you said, there's some days you want to do this and sometimes you don't. And what I love is that as a team, there's days where Natalie will encourage me, or even, like Daisy underneath me will encourage me, and vice versa. And so I love that we're a team and that we work together, and that it's really all for all and not all for one.
I love that. It's all for all and not all for one. That's such a good statement of what this business is.
Mhm.
So good. Thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you.
with us. I hope just, hey, and Double Diamond, yeah, you already told me, I know you're not far.
4 DCs.
So exciting already.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, Kristy. And
Thank you.
Just with everybody tonight, one more time, there could be a ton of excuses, but you can have a business or you can have an excuse. So let's have a business. Another thing is, you are a leader. Every person sitting on this Zoom on here tonight probably means you've been at least enrolled a loyal customer. Or if you're on here, that is one person that you are leading, that you're helping get healthier or have a health goal. So start looking at yourself as the leader you are. Don't let that word scare you. Don't let that go, don't put such an expectation on it that that it feels so far away. Because if you keep moving forward and you keep taking steps and you show somebody right beside you and right behind you and right around you how to take that next step, that's exactly what you got to do. And then if you feel like you don't have time, man, wipe that off the board. Just wipe the excuses away and go, I'm going to do this. Like we said, you steer where you stare. So everybody said I had to make a decision this month that this is what I was going to do. So right now, what if this whole team, all 75 people that are still on here went, I'm making a decision and this is what I'm going to do and nothing's going to stand in that way. And you know what's going to happen, y'all, is tomorrow morning, you're going to have to make that same decision again. And probably next week, you're going to have to make that same decision again. And then maybe the next day, but you keep making that decision over and over again to commit to it, to do it when you feel like it and do it when you don't feel like it. And you keep planting those seeds. Everybody on here does it a little bit different, but that's the thing. They're all still doing it, So it's not hard work, but it is still work. And if you're willing to put in the work, everybody on here tonight just showed you that if you're willing to put in the work, it'll come back to you. This works when you work it. And so I'm so proud of this team. I can't wait till next month. I can't wait to see what's happening. If you are close to Dallas at all, even there are people on my team flying from California because that's closer than Florida that are coming to Green Carpet. Y'all, get to Green Carpet if you can. It'll be so fun to see you there and hug your neck and just get to experience it together. We're having a party this week. There will be a live eSuite training tomorrow night. And I'm so proud of you guys. God, thank you so much for this team. I pray, Lord, as they work, that you would bless the hands, bless the work of their hands, God. I pray that you would give them the people, Lord, that are out there looking for an answer to prayer in their finances, in their friendships, God, in their health, Lord, that you would lead us, that we would get over ourselves to ask them to be a part, because some people are just waiting for an invitation. I pray that you bless every person that's on here tonight, in their families, in their finances, in their health, in their sleep tonight. And just, we give you all the glory in your name we pray. Amen. All right, y'all. Let's rock this month. Have a good night.